So here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Greater Issaquah Chamber of Commerce. I'm Kathy McCory, and today we are interviewing Kathy Lambert. Kathy Lambert is our King County Council person for our district, and she is running for re-election. We're going to be asking Kathy a few questions today so we can get to know her better. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, you're very welcome. So Kathy's already gone through a series of Q&A with us, and we're going to be asking her just a few of those questions today. And we are going to be focusing a lot on transportation. We know that transportation is a big issue for businesses and our employees. And so today's focus is going to be on that. Not completely on that, but we have 5 questions we're going to be asking Kathy, and Kathy's going to have 2 minutes to respond to each question. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump right into our questions. Kathy, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, great. So our first question is actually just to get to know you a little bit better. Could you please describe to our audience the qualifications and leadership skills you bring to this position?
So I have been in this position now for several terms. And so I have the experience of actually doing the job and knowing what it fully entails. And I am willing to continue doing that because I love working with the people and getting things done. Before I was in this position, I was in the House of Representatives where I served in a leadership capacity. And before that, I was a school teacher. And then before that, I was a retail business owner. So I understand the aspects of business and how that is so important to our economy and what that means for the impacts of the business owners. You're on mute.
There we go.
Kathy,
Thank you,
muted.
Kathy. I know I hit the button and I didn't hit it hard enough. Thank you. Of course, we're still recording, and so we still have our technical difficulties. But that was great. I learned some things I didn't know. All right, our next question is, which local and regional organizations do you see as being most beneficial in leveraging the positions for King County and your job?
Well, I think it's really important. The chambers are really important. We are very lucky to have very active chambers. I belong to several of them. And so it's really important for business owners to have each other to rely on, to learn from, and to share. So that is a very important group. And then there are many other business groups, the Kiwanis, the Rotaries, social service groups, churches, faith-based organizations. And so I try to get to any organization that invites me, and some that don't invite me because I just want to see what they're doing. So over the years, I've developed a very large network of people. When I went and bought my car, they said, nobody can have this many contacts. It jams up the equipment in the car. So I have a lot of people that I keep in touch with, or keep in touch with me both. And I think that's a really important part of this job, is that people know you're accessible and that you're in the community and that you're willing to listen.
Very true. Thank you. Now we're going to get into a few of our transportation questions. And the first one is, transportation on the east side continues to be a major concern for Issaquah due to the tremendous growth planned in Bellevue and the rest of the region. What would you do to help get vehicles off the roads and create better options for commuting instead?
Well, the first thing is that we need to have bus services and bus rapid transit. I met with the department the other day, and they are bringing more services back online that will be going through Issaquah. And so that's very exciting. And we talked to them about, in some parts of the area, we have bus rapid transit, which means the bus comes with every 5 to 10 minutes. But in our area, they will be 10 to 15 minutes, which is still very, very good. And that's very important that they coordinate that with Sound Transit, and that they give the city a reliance that if they're going to build transit-oriented development, that even before Sound Transit Rail gets east to west, which is very exciting. You're the first east to west and hopefully not the last. And so until that gets here, that we have very frequent buses so that the people in the community can get to the buses on a very good schedule so that they are not having elongated rides and able to have that service available to them.
Great. And that actually feeds right into our next question, which is about bus services. So due to the growing transportation needs, what would you do to first reinstate Metro Transit that has been lost? And you've touched on that. So maybe the second part of this question is more important. And to increase Metro Transit from southeast King County to Issaquah.
So the first thing is that we need to be bringing on, as we bring on more hours, that they come to the east also. And we worked really hard on that. As I said, we just had a recent meeting and we will be getting a very big slice of the new hours coming on. The base service levels, that for a while we were not even meeting the base service levels. And so I fought really hard originally to establish a base service level, and now to say that there are 5 routes in the county that don't meet that, and we need to get that fixed first. So making sure that we have a good schedule and that people feel comfortable. We talked a lot about safety yesterday, both safety of the vehicle and the cleanliness of it, but also safety inside. Our buses, most of them now have cameras, and I think that's very important for people to know that they are safe while they're on the bus. And we talked about the rules of how to be a good bus passenger for the safety of your fellow riders. And so making sure that as people want more services like to the South County, that they let us know so that we can propose that route change to Metro.
Great, thank you. And I'm sorry, you guys, somebody's at the front door. I'm here by myself. I'm going to put it on pause. Okay, and sorry for that brief interruption, and we're back. And thank you again, Kathy, for joining us. So Kathy Lambert, our next question is again around transportation. Briefly explain, if you would, how you would work with our partners to ensure funding and implementation of the I-90 under overcrossing and Sound Transit.
So Senator Mullet has been a huge, huge leader in the I-90 and getting that funding. And he called me as one of the original signers for supporting that. And he really did an amazing job of navigating that through the budget. And even during the times of budget cuts, all the people continue to support that process. So it has continually been funded. And so it looks like it will be very well done. And the weigh station has now been moved. State Patrol did a wonderful job of being very magnanimous about losing their weight station. So there were lots of issues behind the scenes on getting that. But I think it's on track, and I think it's going to be amazing. And so that's that part. And as far as other funding sources, when there is a need, it's really important that a coalition come together and talk about what is their particular need so that we can bring it forth. We will be getting more federal funding, and most of our federal funding is going to transit, but there is some money going to roads, but not nearly enough because the state formula for roads only allows the funding to be done by the people who live in the unincorporated area. So all the people of the county drive on those roads, but they are not allowed under the current code to pay for those roads, which is a problem because we don't have enough money as more and more people are being annexed to pay for some of those other roads.
I did not realize that. Thank you. So Kathy Lambert, that's all of our transportation questions. The last question we want to kind of leave a little bit up to you. If you would take these last few minutes and just share with our audience things that we have not been able to cover today, or things that are top of mind for you that are you feel are important for us to know before we head off to our ticking our ballots, so to speak.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. And I think the really important part is that we need more people stepping up and being the silent majority, not the, and being the loud majority now. It is really important because there's so many decisions being made right now. We're coming out of COVID, we're getting a new sheriff, we're replanning how we do public safety. All of these things are going to be monumental. And in the next 6 months, major, major decisions are going to be made. And so I hope people will stay in touch with me, get on my broadcast list, because when I send out my twice a month broadcast, I tell you what things you can use as opportunities to really have your voice be heard. We're going to hire a new director of law enforcement oversight, and that will be starting next week. Our sheriff's issues, they're going to be having all through till the end of September, public meetings on what do you want the next sheriff's personality traits and professional traits to be. And then, of course, we will be selecting a new sheriff, hopefully early next year. So all of these are major decisions in addition to the ones we do on a regular basis. So it's a time for lots of good public involvement.
Her her phone call might have cut her off. Oh, there we go. Good.
Did I get cut off?
You did.
Just at
But
the
why
end,
don't
yeah.
why don't you just go ahead and just take it from the involvement and go ahead. We'll edit it out.
Okay. So this is a great time for people to get more and more involved in helping to shape what our future is going to be. We have a lot of new things to be working with as we come out of COVID, as well as all the day-to-day of being a local government and a regional government. We are larger than 13 states. So there's a lot that goes on in the King County Council. So join us.
Wow, we are big. I had no idea. Kathy, you had mentioned a way to get signed up on some sort of newsletter. Do you want to go ahead and maybe let people know how they how they get that?
Certainly. So we have a broadcast newsletter that comes out by email twice a month. And so they're more than welcome to let us know they would like that. And so they just send an email to my office, kathy.lambert@kingcounty.gov, and just say that you want to be on the newsletter. Let me start that one over. I would love to have people on our broadcast list. It comes out by email twice a month. And so they can just email my office, and that would be kathy.lambert@kingcounty.gov, and just say that you want to be on the list. Give us your name, address, phone number, and obviously we'll have your email. And then you can read the broadcasts. We also have all the back versions of it on our county website. So if there's particular topics you're interested in, we're happy to make sure you have all the information you need.
Great. Kathy, thank you very much for all the information. Thank you for all you're doing as our King County Council representative now. Best of luck in this primary, and we look forward to seeing you out and about in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. And it will be fun to be with and without a mask.
Thank you for your time, Kathy, and your transparency and willingness to speak with us. And we enjoyed listening